Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we are diving into Indian classical literature, what it is, why it matters, and most importantly, the genealogy of the Mahabharata. Because without understanding who these characters are, nothing in those texts will make sense. Let's get into it. Section 1. What is Indian classical literature? Indian classical literature refers to the grand body of texts composed on the Indian subcontinent roughly from 1500 BCE to 100 CE. That's 2,500 years of continuous literary traditions. What makes it classical? Three things: linguistic refinement, high artistic quality, and a deep engagement with the four goals of human life, which are dharma, which is cosmic duty, arth, material wealth, kama, desire, and moksha, spiritual liberation. This literature isn't just Sanskrit. It spans Tamil Sangam poetry, Pali Buddhist texts, and Prakrit Jain literature. Sacred and secular, court and forest, gods and ordinary human beings, all of it lives in these texts. The tradition broadly moves through three phases. The Vedic period, which takes place from 1500 to 500 BCE, gave us the four Vedas and the Upanishads, sacred hymns and philosophical treatises exploring the soul and the cosmos. Then came the epic period, 500 BCE to 400 CE, which produced the Mahabharata and the Ramayana, narratives that brought philosophy out of the ritual chamber and into lived human experience. Finally, the classic or Gupta period, from 200 to 1000 CE, which was the golden age, codified Sanskrit grammar, ornate courtly poetry called Kavya, and sophisticated theatre called Natya. At the heart of all of this is the Rasa theory, formalized by Bharat Muni in the Natya Shastra. Every great classical work, whether drama or poem, aims to evoke a specific emotional flavor in the audience. Shringar, which is love, Veer for heroism, Rudra for fury, and great literature doesn't just tell you a story, it makes you feel something specific deliberately. Section 2. The major texts. The catalogue of Indian classical literature is staggering. Let us run through the major traditions very quickly. In Sanskrit, we have the foundational epics, the Mahabharata and the Ramayana, alongside philosophical texts like the Vedas and Upanishads. In Sanskrit drama, Kalidasa's Abhigyan Shakuntalam is considered the absolute pinnacle of the form. Shudraka's Mrich Kritika is a bold urban social drama. Vishakha Datta's Mudra Rakshas is a rare political thriller. In poetry, Kalidasa's Meghadoot and Raghuvamsha set the gold standard for lyric and epic verse respectively. In Tamil, the Sangam corpus is extraordinary, entirely independent of Sanskrit and among the oldest secular poetry in the world. The Tolka Piyam is its earliest grammar, and the crown jewel is Silapatikaram, the tale of the anklet, a full epic narrative. In Pali and Prakrit, we have the Buddhist Jataka tales, the Buddha Charita, and the philosophical Milinda Panha. And then there are the didactic texts, the Arthashastra, Panchatantra, and Kama Sutra. From this enormous tradition, scholars globally agree on 5 texts that stand above the rest in terms of historical impact and literary achievement. Number 1. The Mahabharata, the world's longest epic, an encyclopedia of civilization, morality, and statecraft. It contains the Bhagavad Gita and has shaped the philosophical framework of the subcontinent for millennia. Number 2. The Ramayana, known as the Adi Kavya, the first formal poem. It establishes the structural template for all classical poetry and spreads across Southeast Asia. Number 3. Abhigyan Shakuntalam by Kalidas, pinnacle of Sanskrit drama. It was the first Indian play translated into a Western language. Silapatikaram by Ilango Adikal, the crown jewel of Tamil literature, a tragedy centered not on gods or kings but on an ordinary woman named Kannagi, who becomes a force of justice. Number 5. The Panchatantra by Vishnu Sharma, India's greatest secular export, translated into Persian, Arabic, Syriac, and Latin centuries ago. Now, if you are a Delhi University student, here is what's directly relevant for you. From this vast tradition, the DU syllabus for Indian classical literature currently focuses on 3 texts: the Mahabharata, Abhigyan Shakuntalam, and the Book of Vanchi from Shilapatikaram. From the Mahabharata specifically, the syllabus covers 3 sections: the dicing and the sequel to dicing, Krishna's peace proposal, and the temptation of Karna. We have already made dedicated videos on all 3 of these sections, and links will be in the description below. Let us do a quick recap on all of these 3 sections. The dicing and sequel to dicing. The Pandavas and Kauravas sit down for a rigged dice game. Yudhishthir loses everything and the Pandavas are exiled for 13 years. The scene of Draupadi's disrobing also takes place here only. Krishna's peace proposal. Before the war, Krishna goes to Hastinapur as the Pandavas' ambassador. He offers peace, 5 villages for 5 brothers. Duryodhan refuses. Krishna reveals his cosmic form and war becomes certain. The temptation of Karna. Krishna visits Karna privately and reveals his true identity, that he is actually the eldest of Kunti's sons and he is the son of god Surya. He offers Karna the throne, but Karna refuses, and Kunti also attempts the same mission but unfortunately does not succeed. Section 6, the genealogy of the Mahabharata. Before you watch those videos, here is something absolutely essential. The genealogy, because without knowing who these people are and how they are related, the Mahabharata is just noise. Everything begins with the lunar dynasty, the Chandravansha. The root ancestor is the moon god, Chandra. Key early ancestors are King Bharata, who is the son of Shakuntala and Dushyant, so great that India is literally named Bharatvarsh after him. His descendant King Kuru performed penance at the field now called Kurukshetra. The narrative crystallizes with King Shantanu of Hastinapur. He married twice. First, the goddess Ganga, who bore him Bhishma, also called Devrat. Bhishma was the rightful crown prince, but he made a lifelong vow of celibacy so his father could marry again. That vow is the first crack in the dynasty's foundation. Shantanu's second wife was Satyavati, and crucially, she already had a son before marriage, the sage Vyas, born from the rishi Parshahara. Satyavati and Shantanu had two sons, Chitrangada, who died young without children, and Vichitravirya, who married Princess Ambika and Ambalika but also died childless. To save the lineage, Satyavati summoned Vyas to practice Niyog, a legal custom of surrogate fatherhood with the widowed queens. The result? Ambika closed her eyes in fear and her son was born blind, Dhritarashtra. Ambalika turned pale with fear and her son was born pale, Pandu. A palace maid servant stood in calmly and bore the wisest of the three, Vidur. Now the split. Dhritarashtra was elder but blind, so Pandu became king. Pandu married Kunti and Madri, but a curse prevented him from fathering children. So Kunti used a divine mantra to invoke gods directly. Yudhishthir from Yama, the god of justice, Bhim from Vayu, the wind god, Arjun from Indra. Then Madri invoked the Ashwin twins for the youngest two, Nakul and Sahadev. And here's the hidden tragedy. Before her marriage, Kunti had used the mantra once out of curiosity, invoking the sun god Surya, and bore a son she had abandoned, Karna. He would grow up to be the greatest warrior of the age. Dhritarashtra married Gandhari, son of Gandhar, who blindfolded herself in solidarity and through a divine boon gave birth to 100 sons, the Kauravas. The eldest was Duryodhan. Here's the legal irony that fuels the entire conflict. The Pandavas carry no Kuru blood at all. They are biologically the sons of gods, but legally, born to Pandu's wives, they are Kuru princes. Duryodhan argues that since his father Dhritarashtra eventually became the acting king, he is the rightful heir. Yudhishthir argues he is the eldest of the next generation. Neither is entirely wrong. That ambiguity is the engine of the war. The war kills almost everyone. The Pandavas' sons, the Kauravas, Karna, Abhimanyu, gone. The lineage survives through one unborn child, Parikshit, son of Abhimanyu and Princess Uttara, killed in the womb by Ashwathama's weapon, then revived by Krishna. Parikshit becomes the king of Hastinapur. His son Janamjaya is the one who hears the entire story of the Mahabharata narrated by the sage Vesampyana, which is how the epic frames itself. The whole story is a story being told to Janamjaya about his own ancestors. And that is the foundation. The genealogy isn't just background trivia, it is the architecture of the entire Mahabharata. Every choice, every refusal, every curse circles back to this family tree. Now you are ready to understand all the videos on the Mahabharata, so you can watch them through the links in the description and you can also check them out on your screen right now. Please like, share and subscribe if you found the video helpful, and we'll see you again in the next video.